Hi, it's Steve the Grumpy Hypnotist. I had an unexpected client cancellation, so I figured I'd use this time to answer some very quick questions. I'm going to create a new series called Snappy Answers to, not stupid questions, but Snappy Answers to Hypno questions, I guess. I'm a big fan of the old Mad magazine, at least. But I'm taking these questions from this website called Quora.com. It's been around for a while. It's where people can go and ask questions and to get answers from experts or just normal people. Anyway, so I'm just going to go through some of the questions that I've answered in the past. First one is, can hypnotic suggestions be used for reflexive actions? What this person is asking is, I know hypnosis can be used to give people suggestions and make them do things certain ways, but can these actions be things that people would do, for example, like sneezing, sweating, nosebleeds? So my answer to that here is that yes, although I don't know about nosebleeds being suggested, that sounds more like something out of movie Scanners. It's a good movie, by the way. But hypnosis does involve non-voluntary response to stimuli. In the case of hypnosis, the stimuli simply being words. There's a book, an old book, I think it's out of print, by Andrew Salter called Conditioned Reflex Therapy, which has a lot more on this topic. Again, I don't know if it can cause nosebleeds. I don't know if it's ever been tested. But there are ways to do hypnosis with certain people who are responsive enough that you can change their physiological responses of their body temperature, capillary size, and that sort of thing, dilation, that sort of stuff. So it's pretty interesting. Another question here is, okay, could a memory of a false life before this one be created automatically without intention of the patient or even without the intention of the therapist by the brain under hypnosis? Okay, this person is asking, can the memory essentially be created falsely? And, well, I think this depends a lot on, well, the fact is false memories can be created with or without hypnosis. So, yeah, whether or not hypnosis is involved or not, it's kind of irrelevant, actually. Let's see. Yeah, do hypnotists often have an underlying desire to control others? And again, my answer is, again, kind of about, it depends on what the definition of often would be. But my full answer was, I do not know what your definition of often would be, but the answer, unfortunately, is certainly in some cases. I think sometimes some hypnotists do have an underlying desire to control others, and I think that's sometimes why some people are interested in the subject. But, you know, if you leave out the word hypnotist from that question and just replace it with the word parent, boss, therapist, coach, teenager, human, etc., really the answer would be the same. You know, all those people often or sometimes have an underlying desire to control other people. So certainly some people are attracted to the hypnosis field because they believe they'll gain such power to control others. But I think that doesn't really work very well, because people who have that intention to come off that way, I think people naturally kind of avoid them, and kind of, you know, people who have that intention are kind of like not very powerful in the first place. So anyway. Okay, what's the best way? Well, no, this is a question that I'm not going to answer this one. Okay, so question: interpersonal interaction. What is the quickest way to get people to trust you? My answer. And sometimes a lot of hypnotists kind of ask this kind of thing too. How do I get people to trust me? My answer is, number one, stop the kind of thinking that leads to a question like, what is the quickest way to get people to trust me? I mean, if you think that way, that's like a non-starter, essentially. I wonder how many minutes this is going on. So, anyway. Is it true that humans only use 10% of their brains? My answer, no, it's not true at all. The other answers, that's completely false. It's just a self-help myth that's been made up and repeated over and over again. Okay. Oh, can famous performer in England who's well known for doing hypnosis videos on YouTube, a pretty famous guy who does like entertainment types of things, can he really hypnotize people? So my answer to that is these are really several different questions. Can he really hypnotize people? Yes, of course, just like most people probably can, not just him. The other question that this is underlying is, does he really hypnotize people in those videos? The answer is maybe, sometimes, maybe not. And part of this question is, in several videos he puts people to sleep in just a second. Is this really possible? My answer is yes, it's possible, especially given a super hypnotic subject who's especially has been primed with expectation and has been set up in a certain way. Another sub-question to that would be, or are these videos staged? My answer is, also that's very possible. And of course, in any case, they'd probably only show the successful, spectacular successes. But a staged demonstration is not the same thing as a fake demonstration, if you think about it, or a self-selected or a demonstration that's only been selected to be put on a channel because it was successful. So these are all different questions. But where can I go to learn hypnosis through experience rather than reading? My answer to that is I would recommend avoiding classroom or seminar or workshop settings as places to learn hypnosis. The reason for that is because they're too susceptible to play acting and social compliance. I've been to a number of courses where it's pretty obvious that people are just kind of playing along because they don't want to embarrass the person running the class or anything. What I would answer here is that if you're learning hypnosis, take what you've read and studied so far, then go out on the street or other public places, hypnotize normal people, not other hypnotists. And of course, don't attempt to do deep, complex work with such volunteers or especially other family members, friends, or anything like that. Just enough to do like very basic hypnotic phenomena such as amnesia, catalepsy, hallucination. There are ways to do that safely in ways that are appropriate, not crossing boundaries. And finally, is hypnotic regression real? My answer is this is similar to asking, is dreaming real? Yes, dreaming is a real phenomenon, but no, dreams are not real in the common meaning of the term. Another example would be asking, are memories real? Yes, memories are real. They're a real thing that everybody obviously experiences, but no, memories are not real in the sense that they can't be considered objectively accurate. So a lot of these questions on Quora, I notice, they really, I think, there's this well-known saying that the quality of questions determines the quality of, obviously answers, but also the quality of your life, and that your thought processes. So a lot of these questions, I think, people who are, it seems like schools and that sort of thing aren't really teaching people how to ask questions correctly or in effective ways. Because you can't really answer things if they're ill-defined or they're ambiguous or they depend on a personal, subjective meaning. So there's a couple books that I think are really useful for learning how to ask questions. They're by one of the co-authors is Dr. Linda Elder and Dr. Richard Paul. I think Richard Paul's a doctor, but they're both professors, doctors, or something. And you can get these on Amazon. I'm going to put them in the description. One book is called The Miniature Guide to the Art of Asking Essential Questions. The other one is Thinker's Guide to the other one is there's another book they have related to critical thinking. There's one, but the main one is The Art of Asking Essential Questions. I think these are good books because, unlike, unfortunately I notice a lot of like sciencey academic type books, some popular science books, kind of get like sort of political and that sort of thing, like they get into examples of like global warming or whatever, or like they have like an underlying like political type of bent to them. But these books are pretty pure in terms of just kind of providing a framework for how to ask questions and to get the answers. But anyway, I may keep doing this Quora thing again. It's a new series of Snappy Answers to Hypnotic Questions. But I hope you got something out of this, and Once again, it's Steve the Grumpy Hypnotist. Thanks. Bye.